Good morning. Welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments of the live feed. And if you need any more advice, please join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook, where there are accountants and business experts on hand 24/7. During the live session today, we will be running a poll, so please do engage with it, and I will reveal the results at the end of the show. Thank you so much to everyone for joining me. My name is Eriona. I am the Managing Director of Majors Accounts & Co Ltd. I am a qualified chartered certified accountant with the ACCA, and my background in education is in accounting and finance also, and also in law in international banking and finance. And most recently, I've completed a degree at the University of Oxford in financial strategy. I am also a member of QuickBooks Accountants Council, so I'm a big fan of QuickBooks, and I'm also a member of ACCA's UK Practitioner Network panel and ACCA's SME Global Forum member. I've been working in practice for around 13 years or so alongside kind of my studies, which has been great in ensuring that I get to enhance my studies and theory backed with experience from small practice. And generally in small practice, you get to see pretty much everything in business, how business works, how they function, what their pain points are, and investigating and finding ways to find solutions for those pain points, and maybe trying to find out what a business really wants to achieve, whether that is to grow or become more profitable, and see how we can assist in that process. So, as I mentioned, I'm the Managing Director of Majors Accounts. So who are Majors Accounts? We are a small family-run accountancy practice based in South East London. We provide support to businesses in the SME space, whether they're owner-managed, so self-employed individuals, or limited companies in a wide range of industries. And these could be construction, hospitality, the hospitality sector, financial services, IT, hairdressers, nurseries. The list really goes on, and over the years we've kind of seen pretty much every kind of business from every kind of industry, although at the moment we are specializing in the construction industry, although we have businesses in all other industries also. Since becoming Managing Director of Majors Accounts, I've spearheaded and implemented a digitalisation strategy within our office with the idea to become paperless and use technology in all areas of the business, whether that is communication with the clients or actually producing the accounts and providing more advisory for our clients. And I'm proud to say we are a QuickBooks Online only practice, so we've become some more experts in this space. We've been using QuickBooks Online for many years now, and it is our only bookkeeping app, or the main bookkeeping app that we use. Now everything can be done online using an array of different technologies which all feed into QuickBooks, and to create that elevated experience not just for our team who are using the cutting edge technology, but also being ahead of the game for our clients. And especially in the last few years with legislative changes, COVID and many other things, it has been a great help for us and our clients. So now our clients don't need to come to see us, so there's a convenience and time saving there, and it allows for our national and soon to be international reach also. And we have clients from Isle of Wight all the way up to Ireland. So the idea of this transition, it was to bring the client accountant relationship closer. And as we are a family-run practice, we like to treat our clients and our team alike, like family. And this is one of our core values within our business. And we believe it's helped to build an excellent rapport with all stakeholders involved. And it helps to give a more personalised service, and coupled with the expertise as well that we've built up from the years of experience, it's been an amazing experience. And the idea of introducing technology was to bring us closer to our clients, so we can be the virtual finance director for our clients. And there is a general misconception that people think once you bring technology into the mix, it means that you're more distanced from your clients. But actually, we have found that we now have more time to communicate and speak to our clients on a much more regular basis, and with some even on a daily basis. And there aren't many accountants out there that can say they do that. During this time, our efforts have not gone unnoticed. We have been nominated for a few awards. We were nominated for Firm of the Year Greater London by the British Accountancy Awards for 2 years in a row. I was nominated for Top 50 Women in Accounting globally for 2 years in a row also, and also for 3 awards by the Women in Accounting and Finance Awards 2020. So enough about me. Today, I want to talk to you about tax return season. We are coming very close to the deadline. We have just under 9 weeks to file your tax returns or self-assessment tax returns for the 2021 tax year. Now, last year, 12.5 million taxpayers were required to complete tax returns, and over 1.8 million missed the deadlines. The deadline is the 31st of January 2022, and it's not just the submission of the tax return on this date. A lot of people think, well, I've submitted my tax return, I'm okay. You actually have to pay your tax as well by that date. This includes liabilities not only for the year 2021, so April 20 to April 21, but it also includes the first payment on account for the current year that we are in, which is 21-22, which will end obviously in April 2022. If you miss the deadline, you will be charged £100 fixed penalty, and this is for up to 3 months being submitting your tax return late, regardless of whether you owed tax or not. If it is your first time filing online, please make sure you're registered to use HMRC's online self-assessment service as soon as you can. Registering for this service takes some time. So what happens is once you've registered, an activation code is sent to you via the post. This process can take up to 10 days. I've seen it take longer just because HMRC is still catching up with the effects of COVID, and things are taking a lot longer than usual. So please bear in mind to give at least 2 to 3 weeks, I would say, for this code to come through your post. Once you have this, then you can log on and complete your tax return. HMRC are encouraging taxpayers to complete their return obviously as soon as possible to avoid the stress as the filing date looms. Last year, 2,700 taxpayers submitted their tax return on Christmas Day, with a further 8,500 completing it on Boxing Day. Boxing Day I can kind of understand, there's not much going on. Christmas Day, very dedicated, but try to avoid that, see if you can get it done now. Some things though to keep in mind when completing your tax return. So most COVID support grants are treated as taxable income. A lot of people think that these grants meant that, you know, they're grants, you don't have to pay them back, which is true. It's your money and, you know, no one's got a stake on it, but actually they are treated as income, as if you would have earned during the year when you did get these grants. So if you received the SEISS grant during the 2021 tax year, you need to report it on your tax return. However, the one-off £500 payment for working households who were receiving tax credits does not need to be reported on your tax return. Something else to bear in mind, which will hopefully help you out for tax returns in the future, is MTD. So MTD is coming in for, has been in for VAT for a while, but it will be introduced in a couple of years for self-employment as well. So this is for all landlords that are earning over 10,000 and also all other self-employed individuals who are running a self-employed business. Now, for this, there will be 5 submissions a year, which will be very different to what you're doing right now, which is submitting only once a year, and even that can prove to be stressful. However, what I would suggest is, as you're going to need an MTD software, compliance software to submit your tax returns, how about looking into that now rather than leaving it for in a few years' time, where there will be penalties in place for incorrect submissions and not having the right digital links in place. What we're doing with our clients who are self-employed, we're introducing them to QuickBooks Online. It's a way of ensuring that we can see in real time exactly what our clients are doing, and we'll also be able to advise now that we see what they're doing in real time. But also it means that by the end of the year, if you have added all your invoices on QuickBooks, you've added all your expenses on QuickBooks, and you've connected your bank, you've pretty much got everything you need to submit your tax return as soon as possible, straight after the year has ended, and not leave it to 9 months after the year end. The benefits of this, apart from your compliance, you're organized, you will also know how much tax to budget for. Because a lot of times we've noticed difficulties with those who are self-employed is they have to manage their own kind of tax payments, and it can be really easy to just spend all of your money. When it comes to the end of the year and you see a huge tax bill, you're kind of stressing out thinking, where am I going to get this money? So if you're able to find out how much tax you owe soon as possible after the year end, then you have 9 months to plan for this and budget for it if you haven't kind of done enough during the year. And you have a better idea, obviously, of your business. And you can also make more informed decisions because you know exactly what's going on. You'll be able to forecast, you'll be able to identify areas where your business maybe could grow, or you need to pull back on some things which are maybe not making as much profit as you thought. So overall, MTD, apart from the compliance side, I think it has so many other benefits which all self-employed businesses and landlords could take advantage of. So I see there are questions coming in, and I will start taking these now. We have a question from Holly on Instagram who says, do you have any advice on collaborating with other businesses? I run a mobile bar and want to partner up with other local services to offer package deals for events. How do these models work? How would we share revenue and profit? I am a huge fan of this, and generally I actually help my clients where I can, where I see that they would be a good fit, and introduce them to each other to work together. There are many ways of structuring yourself in this. Some people have kind of come under one name or brand that they come as a package deal, as you've mentioned, but each business technically is self-employed, or they may have their own limited company which they're running through that. In terms of profits, this is something I guess that can be agreed as a group depending on what you're doing. As a mobile bar, I'm guessing you will have yourself offering the drinks. You may need waiters, you may need places in order to cater for this. So coming together and maybe offering some kind of incentive for clients, and then deciding how to split the profits as a result of that. It just depends on how much everybody's offering, and I guess what the going rates would be for a standard bar or a standard party and things like that, and trying to split that between each other. But this is definitely something that I'm seeing more and more, that collaboration, and businesses are being so much more successful because it also allows clients to pick and choose who they would like to be a part of a project, let's say. We have a question from Lindsay on Twitter who says, I've got a question about VAT in Northern Ireland. I'm getting some leaflets printed from a Northern Ireland business and delivered to mainland UK. Should the VAT still be 0%? So from Northern Ireland, this should still be 0%. However, depending on kind of what trade and what you will be doing, I would say definitely speak to your accountant for this, but generally it should be. But definitely double check, please, with your accountant. We have a question from Diana on Instagram who says, where in our accounts should we be logging the support grants, and what should we do if we initially assumed this was tax-free and need to make up a shortfall in tax? So in terms of your grants, it depends what kind of business you have. If you're a limited company, this will go in the lower part of the profit and loss. If you're self-employed, on the tax return, there will be a section, whether you're filling it in yourself or your accountant will do this. There is a section for grants, and you add in the amount of grants you've had, and it will work it out for you exactly how much tax would be due. You're in the same boat as many people that I speak to who are kind of shocked when it comes to doing their tax returns, and they find out they have to pay tax for the grants because they were not expecting any tax at all. One thing is, at the moment, HMRC are accepting a lot of time to pay arrangements for tax. So if you have submitted it, make sure you submit it as early as you can. Once it's done, you give them a call, and it can be a bit of a lengthy phone call, but they will go through and see what your general expenses are. You let them know how much you are able to afford and how long you would like time to pay your tax. The benefits of this is your tax will not increase, you will not get penalties, you may get a slight bit of interest, but that interest compared to just leaving it and not setting up a payment plan is really inconsequential, because the penalties, depending on the tax that you owe, could be £300-400 every kind of 6 months or so, whereas interest will not amount to that, maybe for the whole payment plan. So that is one way that can ease that cash flow for you and ensure that you're okay with HMRC, and as long as you keep and honour those payments, there won't be an issue. Although, just to make you aware, it will take some time on the phone. They do really go through everything, so make sure you've got a list of all your expenses. So I'm talking about mortgage payments, any other household bills that you have, kind of payments for food and all sorts of things, because they will be going through literally everything, all your expenses, and they will try and determine whether the payment plan that you're offering is reasonable or not. 9 times out of 10, you can get through. It can be difficult with some, but you've really just got to push through and make them aware that you are trying to make payments. You're not trying to escape anything, but you want to make payments that will ensure you clear your debt, but in a reasonable manner as well. We have a question from Scott on Facebook Messenger, who says, how should we respond to a confrontational client? I've had a good relationship with one for many years, but recently all of their jobs have been last minute. I recently pushed back on a job and they've hit the roof and have actually been a little bit offensive to me. Unfortunately, this is something that I think every industry and sector experiences. I think it's really important to make sure you stand your ground. I think what I've learned in being in business and running a business is, at the beginning, there is that element that everyone says the customer's always right and you've got to do what the customer says, which is true to an extent until it gets to the point where someone is offensive and confrontational. Unfortunately, that is something that I will not tolerate anymore. And it also, it's important to show for your team members as well that no matter, we are in business, but at the end of the day, we're human beings. Life is too short to have business relationships that can become offensive and confrontational. It's not worth it. So if you're able to calm them down and say, unfortunately, at this point, I'm unable to communicate with you. Once you've calmed down, then we can try and come to arrangement. If there is no calming them down, there is no way of trying to make them be a bit more reasonable, then I would say, is it time to think about possibly saying this is not the right relationship or environment that you want to have, you want to be in, and you don't want your staff as well to feel like they're not in a safe environment either. And in the long run, if this client is going to be causing you this much stress, is it really worth it? I think it's really important in business to take on clients that are a good culture fit. This is what we do in our business. Although we take on clients, we do have a 3-month probationary kind of period where we say, obviously, we're new to each other, we don't know how we work, this is how we work, this is what we expect from you as well. However, for the first 3 months, we will see whether we are a good fit or not. If we are, great, we continue, and hopefully this will be a long-lasting relationship, and generally they are if you're a good culture fit with each other. However, if in the first 3 months there are red flags, generally those red flags are only going to get worse. So at that point we say, unfortunately, we're unable to work with each other, so we'd rather part ways here. I know this is quite bold, and a lot of people are too scared to do this, which is totally understandable, because at the end of the day, you need business. If you're gonna grow your own business, you need the money coming in. But it sets a precedent what kind of business or livelihood, I guess, you're going to kind of have in the future. If you accept them now, you will accept them in the future, but you will have more of them. If you're able to filter exactly the kind of client that you want now, I would say it will build a much stronger and stable business for the future. And client referrals as well, generally they will refer people who are like them. So I would say that, it's a call that you have to make. Is it worth it or not? That's how I'm working. It may not be right, but this is what I'm finding has been a lot better for my sanity and my team's sanity, and also our clients are happier as well. At the end of the day, if you're not a right fit, they're not going to be happy, you're not going to be happy, so what's the point? I hope that helps. We have a question from Mandeep on Twitter, who says, what repetitive small business workflows could be easily fixed with automation, and what tools are out there? So this depends on the kind of business that you run, but generally there are tools for pretty much everything. At a minimum, I would say all of the admin can almost be eliminated, the manual element be eliminated and be digitized with tech. Generally in business, about 40% of the business is admin, and this is something that so many people underestimate because they're too busy focused on, an entrepreneur wears all hats of the business, so they've got to bring clients in, make payments, do this, do that, and it's really easy to forget the admin side. But if you don't have your admin side in order, everything can really kind of become a huge mess as you grow. So at least 40% of the business can be pretty much completely automated. So we use, as an example, QuickBooks Online for our invoicing. Then we've got, in terms of collecting fees, we've got Go Cardless, but there are so many other apps out there as well that connect onto that and collect our fees on our behalf. So our credit control is no longer an issue. It used to be before we had tech. It used to be a massive issue. But there are so many other apps that integrate with QuickBooks, like, for example, payroll. We use QuickBooks Time in recording timesheets. And then we also use BrightPay in connecting that to the timesheet and to the client's pay slips and things like that. But there are so many different apps, and there are loads out there that are industry specific. It could be, for example, someone in construction trade. There are apps that can help you run quotes that are specific to your field, and also integrate with QuickBooks, and also in terms of raising invoicing and taking on expenses, ensuring you've recorded all your expenses accurately, booking appointments. It really depends on the industry, but there's pretty much something out there for everything. Now, as a business, we are, I would say, 90% automated, but every day I'm always looking at the processes that we have and identifying areas where there is still a manual element and seeing how we can automate it. I want to spend more time speaking to my clients and eliminating not just the manual element but the human error, because it can happen. So generally, if there is an automation in place with workflows that work step by step and highlight where you need to get involved for you, then why not? Then you have more time to focus on bringing in more business, providing a better service, maybe looking at opportunities where you can grow. So depending on what you do, there are plenty of apps out there. I'd be happy if you want to contact me either here through the live feed, or I will give my contact details at the end of the show as well, and I'd be happy to see if there are any apps that I can suggest for you as well. I have a question from Thomas on Instagram, who says, I didn't realize in my first year operating freelance, I should have set up a different bank account for my work. I've got one now, but how do I do my accounts for the 2021 tax year until I get to the changeover? Any tips for making it easier? You can obviously do it. Unfortunately, for that time you were using your personal current account, you will have to go through your bank statements and identify any elements that were relating to your business. So it's not just the income, but also any expenses as well that you've incurred, because there might be some hidden, which may not seem too high, but every little helps. Just make sure you keep a record of those. So in case of an inquiry or investigation in the future, you're able to see exactly where you got those elements from. But from now on, obviously, you've got everything in one account, so it should be a lot easier. But that, unfortunately, the only way around it right now is literally going through it, whether it's with a highlighter or downloading it on Excel and filtering through the kind of expenses that you have and separating them and putting them in a different spreadsheet, so you have those clear and a lot easier to add to your tax return with the rest of your transactions from the other account. We have a question from Tonya from Facebook Messenger, who says, my father runs a business but is now very ill. I'm very sorry to hear that. As a family, we can't afford for the business to close, but there aren't any handbooks in place. I don't want the place to be closed during our most profitable season. What should we do? Unfortunately, in business, there are no handbooks, as you've said, and people have been in business for many years, and every day there is a new thing that comes your way, and you don't know whether you're making the right decisions or whether what you're doing is accurate or not, but you've just got to take that leap and just go for it and hope that what the decision you've made is accurate. As you run the business more and more, you'll start to get some experience and you'll get a better idea of what you're doing, but that doesn't mean that you will ever know. No one ever knows. In my opinion, no one ever knows exactly what they're doing. In business, just because you get hit by so many new things that each day is different from the last. So if you really want to make it work, I would say you definitely can. I took over the family business as well, and it was not an easy feat, but definitely, it's something that you can do. But if you would like any help, please do get in touch with me, and I will kind of give you some of my wisdom and what I've been through, and see where I may be able to find any areas that I can help you along that way. Unfortunately, I can't give much information right now because we're running out of time, but please do get in contact with me and I will see what I can do. So the poll results are in. We asked you, when will you submit your tax return? None of you said that you've done it already. All of you said that you're working on it, and no one said it's going to be last minute, which is encouraging. I don't know how much that's going to be true kind of as we get closer to the deadline. A lot of people that are going to be working on it will probably have left it till the last day, but please, if you can, try to get that done as soon as possible, and have a great Christmas break and New Year's, and at least know how much you're going to have to pay and start to plan for it. And for anyone that doesn't have the money to pay the tax, once you've submitted, give HMRC a call. At least you have that time to set up a payment plan with them. So thank you all for tuning in this morning. If you do want to get in touch, please do contact me via the Majors Accounts website at majorsaccounts.com. You can also contact me we're on all social media platforms, so we're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And also on our website, we have a news section which we update regularly as news comes out, and just general hints and tips as well for your business. So please do check that out. And we also have an app which you can also download through our website, which not only has the news section from the website, but it also is jam-packed full of calculators and tax calculators. So if you're thinking of taking on a new staff member, or you want to see whether you're structured in the best possible way to pay the least amount of tax, then you can jump on there, play around with those tax calculators and see how much you could save, or how much an extra employee, for example, will cost you. But there are so many other calculators on there as well. Now, coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow is Victoria Shepherd. She is the co-founder of specialty coffee shop Queens of Mayfair. So tune in to learn what you can do if you're facing recruitment shortages and how to retain staff. This is a huge issue for so many businesses right now that I'm seeing. So please do join in and heed her words of wisdom. A reminder that if you need any more advice, please do join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook, where there are experts on hand to help 24/7. I've really enjoyed answering your questions today, and if you need anything else, please do contact me. Otherwise, have a great day.